March. First day of spring. It's right here. You can see that. First day of spring, March 20th. And somewhere near the end of March and near the beginning of April, this happened. And the barley was in the ear. It was still green. The flax was bold. The wheat and the rye was not smitten, for it was not yet grown up. During this time, right over in the next chapter, 11, this is when we took the jewels, the silver, and the gold. We got the favor, and then not long after that, we left Egypt. Deuteronomy 16, starting at verse 1, observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover. Okay, this is the month that we came forth out of Egypt. It says it right there in verse 1. The month of Abib. Okay? And when you look up Abib in your Strong's Concordance, it's going to give you that number here, number 24. Okay? Y'all can see that, number 24. Okay? Abib. That's the first month, or the first moon of the Hebrew year. That's when we came out. We came out in the month Abib. That's when everything was just growing up. The wheat, and it hadn't grown up yet. The barley grew up, but it was still green. That's beginning of spring, which is a season. Upper left hand corner of the screen, you see the little arrow pointing to the number 24. Abib, a young ear of grain. Hence the name of the month, Abib or Nisan. Ear, green ears of corn. So this is early spring. Okay? So we're dealing with early spring. Now this is Leviticus chapter 23. And I'm focusing on verse 5. Actually starting at verse 4. Where it says, these are the feast of Yah, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. It says in verse 5, I don't know if I can read that. In the 14th day of the first moon, at even is Yahuwah's Passover. This will be in the beginning of spring, somewhere in April. And on the 15th day of the same moon is the feast of unleavened bread unto Yah. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. Okay? Now I'm right over here. Scripture right there. Phone right here. Phases of the moon app right here. Okay? Now if you fast forward, it says March 16th. We're going to fast forward to April. April the 3rd. There's a perfect full moon on April the 3rd, which is Passover. Okay? Then April the 4th is Feast of Unleavened Bread. Alright? And just so happen it passes through, the moon is passing through the constellation that they call Virgo and Libra. I'll get more into that later, but yes, that has something to do with it also. The so-called zodiac or Maserat. But here's April the 4th. Okay? That's Leviticus 23 and 6 right there, Feast of Unleavened Bread. Then it says, on the 15th day of the same moon is the Feast of Unleavened Bread unto Yah. 7 days must ye eat unleavened bread. Alright? Then you got Leviticus 23 and 8. But you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yah 7 days. And the 7th day is the holy convocation. You should do no servile work. That is April the 10th. So we got the scripture here. Okay. And then we got right here 4th. We go back 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. It's April 10th. Okay. And then we have Leviticus chapter 23 verse 24, which is right, it's right here. Okay. In the 7th moon, in the first day of the moon, you should have a shabbat, a memorial blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. Don't do any work. Okay. So the Leviticus 23 and 14 is September the 14th. All you gotta do is keep following the moon and count the days. So that'll be September 14th. All you gotta do is just count the days. And you'll count these days all the way till September. September 14th. That is on a Monday, September 14th. Okay. That is Leviticus 23, verse 24. Then you got Leviticus chapter 23, verse 27, which is September the 23rd. I'm just going through this real quick for the sake of time. That is the 23rd. And all you gotta do is go back and count the days. It's gonna take you right to September 23rd. That is the Day of Atonement. From September the 22nd on the evening to September the 23rd in the evening. You back that up with Leviticus chapter 23 verse 32. Alright. Then you got September the 28th, which is Leviticus chapter 23 verse 34. Okay. That's down here. Alright. So you go from the 14th to the 23rd. Then from the 23rd, you're going to go to the 28th. There it is. Well, hold on a minute. Right there. Alright. It's almost a perfect full moon right there, 98% illuminated. Alright, and then from September 28th, you're going to go to October the 5th. That's Leviticus chapter 23, verse 36. 8th day solemn assembly. Okay. You got the 7 days to October the 4th, where we dwell in booths, 7 days. So you just go, count the days. It'll be the 4th, and then the 5th. So that's how you're going to keep up with the seasons according to the moon. And you can use online sources. You can use a Phases of the Moon app on your phone. There's several different ways to do this. Now that we got all this technology, there's really no excuse for us not to know. And all we're doing is using the moon, like it says in Psalm 104, in verse 19, where it says, He appointed the moon for seasons. Okay, not the sun, not the Gregorian calendar, but the moon. So that right there in black and white. He appointed the moon for seasons. So we're going by the moon and the seasons, the beginning of spring and onward from the end of March, early April. Okay, that's where we're going. From there, we count from there, according to Scripture. So I hope this video helped enlighten someone on exactly how to keep up with the feast. I just made some little notes here, kind of scribbling. You have to excuse my handwriting, but I was kind of in a hurry because I'm kind of pressed for time here. because I got so much other things going on. But this is what I kind of scribbled down from just following the moon and going by the seasons. Okay, this is what I got so far. Now, if anybody disagrees with any of this, feel free to leave any comments. I'm still learning this stuff also. I'm not no big shot know-it-all. A lot of this stuff I actually just found out about. But I also want to throw in there also, just as a footnote, that we are not supposed to keep Passover in our enemy's land. We are not supposed to keep Passover or the Day of Atonement, Feast of Tabernacles in our enemy's land. This is strictly for remembrance. We remember it, we rehearse it, we make sure we know when, so that when we go back to our land, this is what we do. And the scripture that I'm referring to is back in Deuteronomy, chapter 16, and starting at verse 5. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which Yah thy power giveth thee, but at the place which Yah thy power shall choose to place his name in, there thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at even, at the going down of the sun, at the season, because the moon is what governs the seasons. That's how we tell the seasons, by the moon, that thou camest forth out of Egypt, which was in Abib. Okay? So we're not supposed to do this anywhere. Only in the place which Yah chose. And he did not choose America. He did not choose Canada. He did not choose the Cayman Islands. Alright? It says it again somewhere in here. I think it's verse 11. Okay? I hope y'all can read that. It's kind of small print. But it says, and thou shalt rejoice before Yah, your maidservant, blah, 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 in the place which Yah, thy power, hath chosen to place his name there. There it is at the end of verse 11. So, we are not supposed to keep these feasts while in the land of our captivity, according to those verses. So, I hope this helped y'all. Like I said, we got all kinds of stuff we can use. We got all kind of moon apps we can use on our phones and different things like that. So, like I said, if there's anything I missed or something that I was not correct on, feel free to leave a comment. I don't mind. Like I said, I'm still learning this stuff myself. So, bless you all. This Elder Young One. I'm out.